Take your time. Just be here before the morning. I'm not sure if I could hold it longer than that. I'm alright. At least that's what I told you. I don't know if you knew it, but I could tell in the easy light. Once we were young, I could offer a strong shoulder, enough comfort just to hold you back from doing something wrong. So tell me now, be my last salvation, and make my final thoughts of you be something I can keep. And I just need one more night to have you close to me. Lay me down and let me be. And for a moment, could I lean on you instead? Or was I just somewhere you could run to? Was I just somewhere you could run to? Was I just somewhere you could run to? This time I need you to stay still. This time I need you to stay still. Hurry now, see how far you make it. Show me that you're more than you think that you could be. And I just need one more night to have you close to me. Lay me down and let me be. For a moment, could I just lean on you instead? Or was I just somewhere you could run to? Was I just somewhere you could run to? Was I just somewhere you could run to? This time I need you to stay still. This time I need you to stay still. This time I need you to stay still.
So that's a song called Somewhere to Run To from Matt McGinn, who joins me now in the studio. Matt, how are you?
Not too bad, Robin.
Good to see you. So tell us about that song, Somewhere to Run To. What's the background story to that?
It's off the last album called The End of the Common Man. A lot of the songs would have sort of different maybe social elements running through it. But that one there is probably, it's just basically an unrequited love song. You know, even though, you know, I'm happily married and you know, have a lovely family and kids and that, but I find it actually still very easy to tap into the 15-year-old Matt who, you know, was a little bit spurned the odd time. So that's basically what that song's about.
Taking you back to your 15-year-old Matt, were you songwriting and performing back then as well?
I wrote a couple of songs when I was 15 or 16. I'd never really had any intention of being a performer. I always really thought I would love to be the producer, the person behind the glass, sort of telling everybody else what to do and you know, trying to bring the best out in them. But just it sort of has happened sort of by accident. I started writing songs when I was about maybe 19 or 20, and although it was probably about 7 or 8 years of doing cover material, before I really started to air those songs in public.
And did you come from a musical family?
Yeah, my mother is a great singer. My sisters are great singers. My brother as well, actually. And my father can hold a mean tune on the guitar and sing and all. So, yeah, we were brought to piano lessons at a young age, and it was great from that. I sort of, without realising it, was getting the whole theory behind music. So, but then I picked up the guitar when I was about 11 or 12. I always thought of it as practicing the piano or playing the guitar.
Yeah.
It was never practicing the guitar because it was just so much fun. So it was great to have both those elements, But yeah, it's pretty musical.
What about from a songwriting point of view? Were you a big fan of Van Morrison? Reason why I ask is you've just done this big Astral Weeks 50th anniversary concert, haven't you?
I always thought I liked Van Morrison, and then you sort of learn more and more about his. I mean, the depth of that catalogue is serious. So almost like in the same way as the Beatles and Dylan and stuff, you sort of almost like on a monthly basis gain more respect for him because you're sort of seeing a little bit more into that catalogue and where he goes. But the 50th anniversary was a lovely thing to do because, again, that's where almost the theory and the slight classical background came out, because I had the opportunity to perform with Arco String Quartet, and was able to, and so jumped at the chance to arrange the song for them, to sort of have our own unique arrangement, and it was lovely. But yeah, it was a fantastic night, and I mean, like, the lineup was lovely. Duke Special, Anthony Toner, Ursula Burns, and the I even hate calling them a tribute act, but because they're but Celtic Soul.
Oh, they're brilliant.
They're brilliant,
yeah,
like,
they really are, yeah.
And they backed a few people on other songs, did their own versions of the Van songs, and now they're brilliant.
So how important do you think Astral Weeks is as an album?
I think it's very important. For me personally, it's very important because whenever you're doing all different sorts of writing, whether it's, maybe, I could be on Skype with somebody in Nashville and writing, or I could maybe taking music workshops or something like that, and constantly you're either in a situation where you're slightly following, not a formula, but a sort of a way to go that you know works. And especially if you're teaching that to somebody else, you look at the likes of some of the songs in Astral Weeks, and they are, they're the most unorthodox songs, and they're completely, if you were in a music workshop or something, a songwriting workshop, you'd be taught this is how not to do it.
Yeah.
But yet, the likes of Van Morrison, especially in that album, it's almost like he takes no notice of what other people are doing, but yet is very highly tuned to what's going on around him in terms of the world, and is able to sort of completely take that and put his own spin on it. So it's completely from within him, a very unique look on the world, and that means that the actual writing, once you look into those songs, like they're so unorthodox.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very important as a songwriter to completely remind yourself that although it might seem like a good idea to go verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, out, that sometimes you have to really flip things in their head to actually be special.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
The weird thing that I find, every time you listen to Astral Weeks, you find something new. In it, don't you? In the songs, you find something you haven't heard before. You go, wow, I didn't realise this, or didn't.
Yeah, it could even be an instrument.
Yeah.
You might go, oh, there's a flute there.
Yeah.
Where'd that flute come from? It wasn't there for the last 100 listens. But yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing. See, once you start even trying to learn one of those songs and get in behind the structure of it, then you're, it's mad.
So, what's your favourite song on the album?
About 10 years ago, for I'd say must have been for the 40th anniversary, which was down in the OES Centre, I did Cypress Avenue, which I loved, but now that I've got into Beside You, I think it's just, I love it now.
Yeah.
I definitely do. Now, I mean, the likes of the other night there were 2 versions of Madame George. Ursula Burns did one, and then a fantastic young jazz singer, Catherine Timoney, and her band did an incredible version. So it's a fantastic song.
I love Madame George. It's a great story. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Talking about music legends, you did the Jackie Flavelle gig recently as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Jackie was a good friend. I really enjoyed playing with Jackie, and I used to love getting the call. Where it's like, oh, come on, do you want to do a wee jam? This Sunday, and it would be something to look forward to. So, but yeah, it was a lovely excuse to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. Yeah. So, in one corner you had the likes of, unfortunately me with my acoustic guitar, I had to go on after, which was pretty much Taste. It was like John Wilson and Sam Davidson and a load of other boys. But you had that there, Kieran Lavery, Jackie played on Jackie's last studio session was with Kieran. So it was great to have him there. Duke was there. Jackie's played with him loads of times, and it was just a lovely way to remember him. And there was a lovely vibe in the room, that it wasn't like in any way sad. It was just everybody there for the crack, which he would have loved. Yeah.
So has 2018 then been a busy year for you?
It has been mad. We released the End of the Common Man in March, and a stream of gigs along with that. And then in April or May, there was a project that I've been working on called Lessons of War, which myself and a young Belfast filmmaker, Colin Laverty, we managed to put together a film and showed it in the Belfast Film Festival. That was a project that I've been working on with the Arts Council, where we I contacted people, musicians and artists from across the world, from areas that have been affected by conflict or war, and we originally just were going to write one song and have them work on it. And then I found this young guitar player through a friend called Joby Fox, called Yazan Ibrahim, who would live in the Golan Heights near the Syrian border. And we took him over to a studio in Dundalk and managed to sort of collate about 3 or 4 days recording and a small documentary from it. So that was lovely. And as well as that, I love doing my own stuff, and I love writing for myself, but I've been writing with other people a lot.
You wrote a song with Kim Ritchie, didn't you, at some stage?
Myself, Gareth Dunlop and Kim Ritchie, yeah. Kim's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that was just sort of sitting, just watching how it's done as well, like, because she can just bend it and craft it, and just to sort of to be doing that, but watching how it unfolded as well was class. So I actually released it last year along with Nalani, who are they're sort of children of the Sands family. So they're cousins who have made this fantastic group, sort of like a folk trad group, but with a nice modern twist on it as well. So it was lovely to work with them. So yeah, I mean, this year I've been doing my own stuff, but I've been doing a lot of producing as well, and there's some tracks. There's a fantastic singer, Una Clerkin from Belfast, and her track is to come out soon.
And of course, you've played some massive gigs over the years. I'm thinking about the big one in Hyde Park with Sir Paul McCartney.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's the thing about this business. Every day is different, and I love nothing more than doing my own stuff, but I also love sort of jumping on stage along with other people to play with, like Gareth Dunlop, and I saw Juliet Turner recently. I used to play guitar for her a good bit, and at that stage we're over playing in Hyde Park with Kieran Gribben, who's aka Joe Echo, who's over in Australia now, and we were that was a fantastic day. Just sharing the stage early on, that was then to be sort of graced by Crosby, Stills and Nash, Paul McCartney, Elvis Costello, and Crowded House.
Wow.
So I mean, it was to be able to go on first, nervous as anything, get that out of your system, and then just to sit and watch all the rest of them. That was a good day.
Brilliant. You're going to do one final song before you go. What are you going to do this time?
I'm going to do another song from the End of the Common Man album called The Right Name, which is just basically like it's a bit of a rant about all sorts of things, but sort of holding in memory coming up to university when I was about 19 or 20, and sort of being warned of being in that scenario in Belfast where, you know, you have to you know, watch yourself there. You might not have the right name,
Yeah.
you know, so you have to sort of figure out then, you know, maybe what is the right name? Should you be changing your name, or, you know, all those sorts of things. So it's it's a bit of a rant.
Great. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming in and joining us on
Thanks
the show.
for having me.
Thank you. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Here is Matt McGinn.
Well, I never knew how running on empty could lead you where you needed to go. When all I had was time, it's a good thing you had money, or we never would have made it, I know. We could be running a lost life, but we haven't started losing it yet. Standing in your crosshairs, firing like crazy, but it's too hard to hit me, I bet. Nothing's good when it's all you got, and every lesson learned more is a sin. What's the difference if we make it or not, when I'm looking out for someone to blame? So you better have the right name. You better have the right name. Well, I was picking on a song, I heard something that I've been trying hard since to forget. And of all the things I've done, they follow me like that one, halfway into paying my debt. We could be running a lost life, but we haven't started losing it yet. Standing in your crosshairs, firing like crazy, but it's too hard to hit me, I bet. Nothing's good when it's all you got, and every lesson learned more is a sin. What's the difference if we make it or not, when I'm looking out for someone to blame? So you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Now me and the devil were partners, and I find myself backing again. But the terms of my deal are etched to my forehead, and it looks like we're one and the same.